Budget ultra-fast lens with super useful focal length for your APS-C cameras. Meike 25mm f0.95. How good is it? Let's find out. On a crop sensor camera, this lens has full frame equivalent of 37.5mm focal length and the background blur of f1.4, and also it comes for those camera mounts. The weight of this lens is 600 grams, not lightweight by any means, but still it's more than okay. It comes in this very nice box and it says multi-coated on it, and also here are the specs. In the kit you'll find the plastic back cap as well as a plastic front cap slip-on mechanism. It's a manual focus only lens, and the focus and aperture rings are super smooth and very nice to use, pretty well dampened, and they have no clicks. And the focus throw is around 90 degrees. And the lens itself is made out of metal completely, super good build quality. Meike 25mm f0.95 has 13 bladed aperture, which provides you with awesome and super creamy bokeh. I'll show you in a minute. The minimal focusing distance is 0.25 meters, which is pretty good as well. And on the Sony A6300 it sits perfectly. Unfortunately, this lens does not have weather sealing, but the lens mount is made out of metal as well. And now let's have a look at a couple of sample photos. Those shots are taken with the Sony A6300 in JPEGs, and the aperture is written below the image. And look at this bokeh, it's super cool. And if you step down, this lens is getting very sharp. If you stomp down a bit, you can get awesome kind of macro photography as well. And also, as you see right here, me and my wife and our daughter, we went to this experimentarium museum. I've used my Sony a7S III in APS-C mode or with a clear image zoom, and I had zero issues using this lens with a full frame camera in this mode. And yeah, the lighting is not perfect, but in the real world I had zero issues with this lens. It's a joy to use. So now guys, let's have a look at this lens's performance and different apertures, distortion, vignette, contrast and all that stuff. At f0.95 we see a little bit washed out contrast, but still not so heavy vignetting, and the distortion is not too bad. Only the extreme corners are a bit curvy. At f1.4 the vignette is going almost completely away. By f2 we reduce vignette completely, and the sharpness and overall contrast is getting better as well. f2.8 almost perfect image quality, and it gets super sharp, like tack sharp by f4. Here are the 300% scale crops from the corner, and as you can see, the corners are getting super sharp only by f4, but still they're not that soft. And the vignette is pretty heavy, but it's getting reduced by f2. The minimum focusing distance of 25 centimeters and f2.8 aperture gives you this image. Looks pretty good in my opinion. And the caveat is that at f0.95 you get this super soft image, so step down if you want to shoot at minimum focusing distance. The focus breathing is kind of minimal. I don't see a huge amount of zooming in and out while focusing, which is good. The chromatic aberrations at f0.95 are controlled really well, because most of the lenses I've reviewed with this fast aperture, they have a ton of chromatic aberrations, and as you can see here, by f2 they are getting super reduced, and at f4 there are just no chromatic aberrations. As I said before, 13 aperture blades are giving you this super creamy and nice and soft bokeh. Just look at it, it's getting completely washed out and like out of focus, super soft, and I really like this bokeh. A pleasure to look at. Wide open flares are existent, and we have a pretty strong flare, as you can see right here, but it's not super bad because I've seen much worse with those fast lenses wide open. If you step down a bit, we get a bit reduced flare, but also we have this little halo when we have the source like on the side of your lens, so keep that in mind. Now let's look at the flares during nighttime. So here it is, super bright source of light, and as you can see we have some flaring, but I'm not saying it's bad. It's kind of, you know, it has character at least. And guys, here is the difference between f0.95 and f2.8. It's like super dramatic, and the ISO was set to 160, just imagine. So now guys, let's have a look at the bokeh during the nighttime, and as you can see, when we move out of focus, we have those kind of onion shaped bokehs towards the corners, and all in all the bokeh looks Super creamy. I have no issues with this bokeh. It's looking very natural to me, and look at this image. It's magical, let me say. Kind of reminds me of a Helios 44 too. And when we stop down, we do get the circular shape back, and it remains circular almost throughout the entire range because of the 13-bladed aperture. So thumbs up for the bokeh. In terms of coma smearing, there is some halo and coma smearing, as you can see right here, wide open, but it's not too bad in my opinion. I've seen much worse on such lenses, and when we stop down to f1.4, the coma smearing is getting almost completely gone. By f2 it's gone forever, and as you can see in this example, wide open, we don't see any coma smearing, and the bokeh is gorgeous. And now let's keep closing the aperture, and as you can see, we're getting a reduced halo, and it's getting completely gone only by f5.6, f8. But if you step down to about f2, you can still get super cool looking shots with circular bokehs and zero issues in the image, at least to my eye. And the sun stars at f8 looking decent. f16 is not that good. f8 is the choice for sun stars, at least for me. The price of this lens is $370, which is not a lot for this good lens. I wasn't expecting this lens to be that good. And the competition is Venus Optics Laowa, which is much more expensive, and kind of the same lens from 7 Artisans, but I didn't use this lens at all, so I cannot say anything about this lens in particular. To conclude, I was surprised by how good this lens performs wide open considering its price. It is totally usable at f0.95 except for the poor minimum focus and distance image quality wide open. But if you know the limitations of this lens, you'll be able to achieve some great results with it, and it's a very useful piece of kit for your APS-C or Micro Four Thirds camera, especially for low light and creative photography and videography because of its beautiful creamy bokeh. Highly recommend trying out this lens. So what do you think, guys? Is it a lens for you, and which fast APS-C lenses do you use? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to smash the like and subscribe buttons and the notifications bell. My name is Oleg Nikitin, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, bye.